On this episode of Local Labrats, we're visiting Jeff Coga in the heart of Los Angeles so we can get in the lab and talk about the mentality of selling. Jeff is the host of the Real Estate Strategy Lab podcast. He comes from a real estate background with a business that's generated over 7 figures. Now he's looking to create revenue at scale using webinars, what he calls selling at scale. But this guy's story goes deeper than his sales tactics, and it's a side I'm happy to bring to the surface here on Get in the Lab. He's also been a great mentor and teacher for me. Let's get into it with Jeff Coga. All right, welcome to another episode of Local Labrats, where I visit local content creators here in Southern California, and we get in the lab with them. So we're gonna walk around here with my friend Jeff Coga from Real Estate Strategy Lab, and he's gonna give us a tour of his lab. All right, Jeff, so thank you for doing this with me today. It's an honor to be in your home, for you to welcome us here and here in lab. So where are we gonna start first?
Well, we can start from here, and then I can show you the inside on where all the magic happens.
Oh, the magic.
So coming in here is I hang out a lot over here, right here in this section with the laptop during midday. I take even naps during the midday, power naps, 15-20 minutes. Because I have a strange work. Places I hang out midday is I sit here as well. A lot of my conference calls when I talk to people, so I lounge here, and most of the time they don't know that like half of my body is in the pool, so which is pretty cool. And at times I do bring my laptop out here, and I actually stand and work as well, right on the corner, so which is cool. And I relax here in the hammock as well.
So Jeff, how important is it for you to have a pool, or do you just like? Did you pick this out? Were you like, I have to have a pool because I want to, lounge, I want to feel like super chill in my home?
The pool actually already was here.
Oh.
So originally the home itself was just that, the front, and then we had the back, and then we ended up adding about 1,200 square feet all the way in the back.
It's really nice, guys. Unfortunately, we can't get in the pool because we're gonna do this thing.
Didn't bring a bikini. This is where I say we shoot the shit, and where we hang out. I actually smoke a lot of cigars, so I smoke here. Other people drink, and we hang out and we just talk a lot about business and life in general. So which is cool. So we have kind of like these set up like all around the place. So you just pick your favorite spots, depending on what you do.
Just like entertain a lot of guests. Or you said that you have a lot of business meetings here. Like when you bring a business partner over, it's kind of like, I was watching this one video about somebody who's like, I don't usually roll in this kind of watch and this kind of dress, but when you go to do business, you go to do business with everything that you've got, like your clothing, your attitude, the way you speak most of the time. Like, how much of it is a big factor that this house looks the way it looks when you're going down business?
I think it has a big part of it. Because it's funny because I joke around and say it's a dog and pony show sometimes, and I try to be real with people all the time, but it's just like people enjoy that, It's the concept of like, why do some people, like some guys or some girls or whatever, get the fancy schmancy cars to roll around with, It's because sometimes the perception in the real world is, they look at it and they say, whoa, this person might be successful. He's driving a $100,000 car, versus in reality, the guy that's driving the Prius is probably the guy that has more net worth and more money,
So when I come here to your lab, I go, damn, this shit is expensive. But then I talk to you and I know you personally, and I know that you're not all about that. So how much of this place is like for business sake, or is it truly this was what you wanted to accomplish in your career? Like, this is the home that you wanted. How much of that do you think?
It's initially, when it started, actually was it wasn't supposed to look like this. It was actually very basic, just a simple rehab. But one thing led to another with the business partner, and just money just kept on throwing in. You start getting it, says, oh yeah, let's make this little tweak here, let's make that little tweak, more money keeps on going thrown in, and next thing you know, you're literally like $300,000 over budget, and you're like, wow, but at the end of the day, you look around and you're just like, okay, how do you put a price point on comfort? So and I wake up and I say this all the time, is that I'm blessed because not too long ago, when I had to go back because of the recession, go back to work, I literally went back to the corporate world, and I hated that, where I had to actually literally get back in a suit and tie, put on some shoes and actually put on socks, like my days I hardly wear shoes, so, which is cool, so
Always in the flip flops.
yeah, I'm happy, so
That's cool, man. I like that. All right, cool. We're gonna move on to the next spot, and I think we'll go over that way.
Don't touch the metal bar.
So we're here on top of Jeff's roof. Tell us about this roof.
This is the rooftop. This is where the party goes. Whoop, whoop. No, just kidding. This is where I call at nighttime. I actually come out here to relax with the laptop, and turn on the fire pit, and I just lounge here or here with the laptop and do kind of creative work while I smoke a cigar out here.
Is that like every day smoking?
I do smoke quite a lot of cigars, actually. Yeah, it's an expensive
That's what happens when you become a boss. All right, Jeff, now we're here. Hi!
Oh, thank you. Love you.
All right, Jeff, we're here in your backyard. So tell us about this part.
This part is really where you can hang out, and literally where the camera's at. That's where the basketball court's at. And as well as this is kind of another lounge area at nighttime, so if people come, this is actually a fire pit, but it's kind of busted, so you can't see. And you have a kind of a water that goes here. We don't have fishes, but water goes here. It's supposed to have a waterfall that goes down. You have a lot of places that you can just hang out and just be in your own world. So.
I like that. Come over here. Except you gotta go through all this LA traffic.
Right.
All right, here we are in Jeff's office. So let us know, Jeff. Tell us about your lab.
I call this the man cave.
Oh, snap.
So, yeah.
Okay.
It's the cave. Literally, I probably spend maybe about 60 to 70% of my day here.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where I get in the zone, and I run my webinars, the podcast, and many of the things in the closed door. And predominantly, I'm just sitting here, and I have a sign out, I lock, and no one bothers me.
Oh, where's the sign at?
So
I have one of those
it's a post-it. It's a post-it.
It's a post-it.
Yeah, and it says F off, actually.
Yeah. I can't say that to Kevin now. He'd be like, he doesn't even like the sign that I have right now.
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. So break us down. What's your process like on a daily basis? How do you get in the zone and make sure you have it?
I come in and usually I sit down right here, and when I sit down I have something usually motivational or a book that I'm going through that's playing either up there or on my phone that I have on speaker, and then I take my notes here and I start jotting down my to-do list, and I have kind of a methodical way of doing it. So I write it down on usually the top 3 things I need to accomplish that day, with who I need to contact, what I'm waiting for to get done, and that's my day. And my goal is to get who I need to contact with first, waiting on get all of that done, and then start knocking out the projects. So that's always been my habit, and then that's it. And the rest I just sit down here and I don't move, which is I've been told is bad because they said that you should actually stand every hour or something like that. So it's been a very difficult habit for me to break, because sometimes I literally sit here for like 5 hours straight, and I'm kind of like the zombie look, like and then people walk in sometimes and they'll look at me and they'll be like, "What's going on?" I look at them with a dirty look. I'm like, "Yeah, don't disturb me." Yeah, so bad habits, but it works for me for now.
I do the same thing, dude. Just getting there, just editing. Like, I love it so much, and I know that you love it so much, doing your thing. But so what are you doing to help yourself break that habit, or you just do it?
To break it is like usually I just try to move sometimes. I try to do that because a lot of the creative stuff that I do it late at night. Usually I'm in great space from like probably after 12 to like 4 a.m.
Oh, you're one of those.
Yeah, so, and because my work habit is from Monday to Tuesday I don't sleep. Yeah, like literally I'm up working for like long hours. I do take power naps in the middle, like I said, in the front. Sometimes I'll sleep here, and sometimes literally I'll sleep on the chair that I don't know that I'm sleeping. I'm like this. So then I wake up and I'm like, oh yeah, and I hop in the pool to wake myself up, and I get back out, and then I start working.
Man. Is that just because you have to, or you want to do it that way?
It's because I know that I'm limited on being able to push this hard. You know, because at my age, I know I can do this, but I definitely don't want to do this when I'm in my, 40s, 50s, with kids, and so that's why I'm really trying to push my physical limits right now, how hard I can work, because I know for a fact that, that old saying of the tipping point, right? Like Malcolm Gladwell talks about, to become in the space of mastery, right? To be a master of something, they said that you're actually required to do 10,000 hours of work. The funny part about that 10,000 hours is, have you actually calculated to see, based on like someone that does 40-hour work week, how long that takes?
No.
Okay. Is that 40 hours of work week, if you're just doing the same thing over and over, it'll take someone actually 5 years to reach that 10,000 hours. So if you look at the grand scheme of like what SBA says about businesses and how the business rate of failure for businesses, that when you break through the first 3 years, right, you have a 80% chance that your business is going to fail. Right? Once you break through 3 years to go from the 5 years, you have a 50% chance that your business is going to survive. So when you go say the 10,000 hours to mastery, really the goal is you got to master your craft and get a lot of hours in. So my stupid or simplistic brain says, hey, it takes 40 hours to do 5 years. Hey, if I do double, I can do it in 2.5 years. Now if I can triple that, then I can get it done in a year and a half. Yeah, so that's why I press hard, and I just like.
I like it. Work hard now, so you don't have to later.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's move over to the whiteboard.
The whiteboard is where I call this the brain dump. Literally, if I'm stuck on something or if I need to work something, this is actually pretty clean than what it usually is.
Oh, yeah.
So when I do brain dumps, literally it's exactly like if you can imagine a dump.
A dump.
And wet one. That's kind of a bad idea.
Okay, so
yes, I literally throw
Vivid,
everything on
very
there.
Vivid.
Yeah, so I throw concepts and challenges and stuff that's going on that's not working, and I throw it on there. And then afterwards, then I prioritize from like 1 through 5, and I start chunking them down. So this is a 1, this is a 2, this is a 3, this is a 4. And when I'm done, then I'm left with the column wall priority that I need to get done. And then I start chopping up, then you're left with probably 2 or 3 things that you just really need to get done.
Very cool.
So,
how often are you doing that?
I'm doing that at least on a quarterly basis, quarterly minimum. And then the rest is I jot down funnels, so on things that I need to work on. So right now I have a funnel, that simple funnel that I drew up that I'm working on right now. So I use lead pages, I use ClickFunnels, I use my own servers that I have set up. So so I use all kinds of different tools.
Yeah, that's very cool. All right, cool. What's next?
It really isn't too much. Too much, literally. It's just I work here, I sleep here, I sometimes sleep here, and that's really.
And then you're here every day.
Yeah, this is where I wake up and I'm sitting here by 6 a.m. sometimes 5:30.
Wow.
If I'm in my zone where I haven't slept, sometimes I wake up a lot later. So, but this is where it's at, and I go outside to unwind or to just like recharge real quickly. So.
And it's great that you have that kind of outside, that kind of backyard at home to walk into. Tell us about your tech.
Disclaimer first is Asian guy, right? So you're supposed to, I guess, be a geek and kind of know how to do like technology, so I've been told. But I am the least technologically savvy person that's out here. And I'm about to explain what I mean, okay? Is one, I just know I'm supposed to speak in here when this light is on. Alright, so that's number one. It's set up that way, right? So this thing right here, it's supposed to be, I was told it's called like a mixer, alright? But by the dust that's on there, you can tell that I have never touched it or turned it. So that's why sometimes when people listen to my podcast, they say the audio kind of stinks, okay? And that's because I just don't know and how to figure it out. Now I do have this here that's been sitting here for probably a year now that I haven't used. So there's some dust on here as well. But this is supposed to be really good for audio. So I've been told, and look. They even have that little clear thing on the top. See, I haven't even taken it off. Look at that. So sometimes be careful when it's like this, but it does wake me up sometimes, right? Because I remember I said I sit here and I work. So sometimes I fall asleep, and when this thing is like too far out, I have done this. I go, and it wakes me up. So that has happened a few times. Now, other things that I do use a lot is this. So this is like kind of like this little board thingy. I don't even know what it's called. Wacom.
Oh, Wacom, yeah.
Is that what it's called? Okay,
That's a tablet.
Yeah. So And here, and the reason why I don't know what it's called is because I just ask people, say, hey, I need this, and then people just send me a link to Amazon, I just buy it. I use this to like, sometimes when I'm doing my live training, I use this to draw stuff on here, and I'm getting a little bit better each and every time. But disclaimer, anyone that wants this, if your handwriting already sucks, it's really bad, yeah, because my handwriting already stinks, so I try to use that.
What are the software that you're using for your webinars? Like, take us through the process of the webinar, because that's your main vehicle to generate leads and sales, yeah?
Yeah, so I use GoToWebinar, and pretty much this is the best software that's out there. Anyone else that tells you anything else other than that is, I think, full of it. Why? Is because this never fails, it breaks down, and if you lose internet connection, you don't like drop off and then suddenly says sorry and then everyone's left. You can actually connect back and you can talk to people. So this is where I'm at, and I literally run webinars almost every single day of the week. So
why do you choose webinars? Like, why is it such a big generation of leads and sales for you?
The reason why I use webinars is, one is a couple of years ago, right? I was struggling how to make money online, right? I would make a couple dollars here, $100 here, and it was cool because it was a side hustle for me. I was doing, it was a supplement to my real estate business, and my income came from real estate. But as I started looking at it, I'm just like, what am I doing wrong? And I call up my buddy, and I'm just like, dude, man, like, I think I'm doing everything right. Like, I got my presence on, I got these lead capture sites, I'm driving traffic, I spit out a lot of content, but I said, but it's not like correlating into like money. It's just like, I feel like I have a hobby that's, that's making, little hobby money. And I'm just like, okay. And my buddy goes, what are you doing to selling? And then I said, I saw him to a sales page and a video sales letter, and then from there, he's like, no. He's like, you want to sell at scale. And I'm just like, what do you mean? And he was just like, yeah, you got to do webinars. And at that time, I've never done webinars before. So I was like, okay. And it was like, what do I need to do? And then he goes, well, put together a presentation. And I said, okay. And and I think it was that day, it was like literally on a Monday or something like that. And then I called my business partner up that evening, or on Tuesday, I believe, and I said, dude, we're about to do a webinar. And he's trying to talk me out. He's like, we're not ready for this, we can't do this, we're not do that. I said, no, we're gonna do it. We already scheduled it on Thursday, and we already got 30 people registered. And he goes, what? And he says, yes, we're doing a webinar. So we ended up doing it, and it was pretty cool, because that was the biggest game changer for me, where once we did that and we actually sold, I think the event, there was a lot of stuff that went wrong, okay? So I'm not standing here or sitting here, I guess, and acting like it's an ivory tower or whatever, but it was cool when you actually start seeing the income coming in, because we went into close, and I'm in the, my buddy was my business partner, Jason, was in the background trying to fix like the pay, the checkout page, and at that time, my number one thing I said, make sure we can collect money, and he was like, yeah, I'll make sure of that. So I'm presenting, and my buddy was kind of like the MC of it, and he helped me out a lot, actually, my buddy William, and we ended up doing it, and we ended up collecting, I think, like $5,000 actually on that. So, and I was just like, wow, like, this is it. And that's really was the eye opener, where I was just like, yeah, if you're gonna sell, you just sell all, sell, even if you can get 10 people on, or 20, 50, or 100 people on, sell at scale in front of those people, because now you have data that you can actually, get at one shot to be able to say, okay, where did I go wrong? Versus like most, I think, people online, they'll try to create some type of sophisticated funnel, and then it's hard to figure out where the problem is in that funnel.
That was it for part 1 of this episode of Local Labrats, so please join us for part 2 as we continue this conversation with Jeff in his living room, discussing his perspectives on selling, where I learned 3 very good lessons about setting my business up for wealth, both mentally and financially. See you in part 2.